all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in our newsrooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
Want to just get out of town with your friends and family? Are you having a corporate getaway and have no adequate transport? Then this here is what you need to listen to. A brand new 35-seater Yutong luxury bus is now up for hire at an affordable and negotiable rate. It comes fully equipped with aircon, TV for your relaxation, music soothing your trip, and DVD players to give you variety. Book now by calling 0955 0966 or 977 844 141.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Air Jungle.
We are glad that you could find time to join us on the main news desk on Prime Television. Thank you so much for your company. A look at the headlines. Taxi drivers infiltrated after police removed them from Kenya Embassy. Economist predicts tougher times ahead following quarter's poor performance. Institute of Democracy speaks against political violence in markets. In foreign news, Boko Haram threatens to disrupt Nigerian pause. Join me shortly for the main news in detail. Thank you so much once again for joining us with the news in detail. My name is Kalan Muchima. Taxi drivers operating at Embassy in Makeni have insisted that they will move back to Makeni taxi rank after being removed by the police. The drivers have been removed from Makeni Embassy taxi rank to pave way for the construction and expansion of a shopping mall. The drivers have accused some investors that are putting up the shopping mall of being inhumane and driving them out of their own land. They stress that they have been operating from the same area for over 10 years now and do not understand why they have been removed. The drivers allege that an investor, a Mr. Aki, has no right and legal documentation to occupy the land in question.
These are taxi drivers that have just been removed from a place they claim to have operated from for over 10 years now. The drivers have resisted to move from the place, saying they will still go back even after being chased from the place by the police officers. They have indicated that the demarcation was done on the land between the investor and them, but do not understand why they have to be moved.
Vanatuzeko vafika sabe kwambo menya mamotoka chosani mamotoka monga tikapena taba olobwanji ero paja pantu ndipa mtijesera vana nase tina mawana but sivanafike mushe yai vatipisha vafunika vatista inform no choose but we vafika sabeja ya bruto monga tinirayoti kwambo tia matia gasi hapa note stamuleza stikana tienda bosi ngati ndine wafuna nilonga biselo vakanso pesa izana bo vakanso izana bwera pano para rangi patu hapo akasababu akamba irandi insha modera kukumba anamba kukumba paje sasa akanso kupapa mule sasa kumba irandi nyachani ni akanso la ndi yako so after abura enda after 1 month after president alba wina tuna show time bantu bafika bandati after 4 days bambo kumba futi after ambo kumba why mukumba pano ativanuza ambo kumba so after manje short time bacha police wabwe atimuchoke bato akanochoka hapo so manje ona ile wabwe akapokora futa atimbapera 05 ukopya atimuchoke paranki pano manje zainda kuti.
They have also charged that they do not understand why investors have been given more rights in the country than them. Angered and frustrated by the action, the drivers have asked the government to intervene in the matter.
Hapa ni street ni akudala ndipa neti jesera vana ife pripekwa neti ngaende tipemba kuti vatianganepo pano tipemba kuti vanganepo chifukwa tikangana pali bena place ane vangamangirepo hapo ndiye tivota ife tivotera party amene anetivutisa to tipemba please vanganepo a government hapa.
This is our country, we are going to fight for it. Yes. This is our country, and we are not going to move about this area, and the police must go to their office there. Yes. This is not for the police, it's for us and the council. So Ministry of Land, no one is going to build this area, okay? So this is illegal. Now, if it was black amangapa, sembe wakambati ni illegal demolish. Now, because this is Muzungu, Muzungu is going. We are going to fight for this Muzungu to go.
After being removed from the taxi rank, the drivers have now resorted to be operating along pedestrian pathways, and one wonders how this will work and for how long. Gwen Wheeler reporting for Prime TV News in Lusaka.
A local economist has advised Zambians to brace themselves for tougher times following the continued poor performance of the Kwacha. Mambo Hamawondo warns that should government not put in policies that will help to stabilize the Kwacha, most cross-border traders, especially car dealers, are expected to be thrown out of business. The Kwacha has been weakening since the 20th of January 2015 presidential by-election. As of the 18th of February 2015, the Kwacha was trailing against the US dollar, whereas it was buying at 6.900 Kwacha and selling at 7.040 Kwacha, the worst ever this year. Continued with its poor performance, despite Zambia going through a peaceful transition. The Kwacha has now crossed the 7 Kwacha barrier, the worst so far this year. This scenario will result in most goods going up, seeing that Zambia is more of an importer than an exporter of various goods. Zambian economist Mambo Hamawondo explains trends leading to the depreciation of the local currency.
One of the clear reasons why our Kwacha is losing strength or is depreciating is the fact that there has been a standoff between the mines and government. The issue of the VAT refund, and coupled by the fact that now there is new legislation, the 20% tax regime. So productivity, I would want to believe that in the mines has gone down, because the mines are wondering whether this particular tax regime will be reversed or not. So it has, of course, affected productivity, and like I stated earlier, confidence is a bit low, and because confidence is low, you find that it does affect the inflow of forex into the nation.
He further explains the effects of the depreciation of the kwacha on those doing business and ordinary Zambians.
The ripple effects are clear. The price of goods will go up, and they will just become unaffordable. And for people who are running small businesses, car dealers, cross-border traders, you'd find that many of them will probably be out of business because they don't have sufficient kwacha to buy forex and go out there and procure goods and services. So it is really a huge challenge. I mean, the rate was at 6.364, and all of a sudden it's 7 kwacha. It is bound to knock off many players from the market.
But what role can the Zambian government play in stabilizing the kwacha?
Government does have a responsibility to anticipate some of these things and foresee what will happen in future, and therefore plan for it. So it is important that going forward, government should have foresight, and they should be able to manage some of these external forces.
We apologize for that. The International Institute for Democracy and Conflict Resolutions has condemned the recent spate of political violence in markets and bus stations. Institute President Tresford Chomba says the trend, if not well handled, has the potential to create civil strife in the country. Mr. Chomba wondered why a certain group of cadres have decided to take the law into their own hands and victimizing others who are working hard to better their lives. He has since called on politicians, especially those whose cadres are involved in political violence, to tame them to avoid any further damage to property and human life. Mr. Chomba was reacting to the recent beating of a UPND cadre who was recently assaulted alongside her son by suspected PF cadres at Soweto Market.
As the International Institute for Democracy and Conflict Resolution, we strongly condemn the violence being perpetrated by the party cadres, especially the recent one that happened in Soweto Market. What we're supposed to do as the nation is to map up a strategy of economic development. And this syndrome of party cadreism in markets, I think this nonsense should come to an end. It doesn't matter whoever's perpetrating it. And I'm now appealing to the Honorable Minister of Government and Housing to make sure that there is sanity in the market. Let the Lusaka City Council take over the running of the affairs of the markets. Be it the city, bus terminals, the markets, in all townships. I think we are fed up. Party cadres taking over the markets, taking over the bus stations, bullying people that are supposed to get on the bus. And if anything, even the owners of the buses, they don't get anything.
Meanwhile, Mr. Chomba has criticized intentions of a political merger between the PF and MMD. He explains that taking that route is tantamount to taking the Zambian people for granted. He wondered what motive is driving the two political parties to come together, saying if such a move was to be true, it will only be subtracting from democracy which the MMD themselves introduced. Mr. Chomba also observed that Zambians voted out the MMD in 2011 and seeing them regrouping in the PF will result in Zambians rising against the PF in 2016. Talks are currently underway between the PF and MMD to come together, which might result in the MMD being swallowed up by the PF.
The marriage between PF and the MMD, what I can say is a very sad situation. in a sense that MMD is a former ruling party, but it is now getting into extinction. We got the news that it's going to be taken up, it is going to be swallowed up, meaning that its existence won't be anymore. As the Democrats, they are the founders of multipartyism. So who are we going to point to as the initiators of multipartyism in Zambia? Are we going to be appointing to United Party for National Development? What should happen in any given situation is an alliance for the sake of an election where MMD and Patriotic Front can come together only during an election, not for an MMD to be swallowed up.
Odi Liberation Party OLIPA President Mpundu Mwanamwelwa has charged that about 250 members of the Unemployment Association of Zambia have joined his party with immediate effect. Mr. Mwanamwelwa says all the defectors from the Unemployment Association of Zambia will bring a difference to his party and Zambian politics. He says his party will work with any person willing to bring about change and do away with politics of hate and violence. Mr. Mwanamwelwa says about 250 people who have joined his party will add value to his party and that the party will be the most powerful of them all. He says he will closely work with the grassroots and ensure that his party wins the 2016 general elections.
It has come to my knowledge that the organization has failed to find someone who can take me over, citing that they had fear, looking at my history, that for the 10 years I've been president for the Unemployment Association of Zambia, I've been caged, detained for 56 times, and we have been facing problems with any government which has just coming into power. So the members have resolved to dissolve the organization from effect from today, and all the members throughout the country have actually joined Odini Liberation Party, which the party I have founded.
We go for a break. Join me shortly for more local news. Stay with us.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in our newsrooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
What's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with our main news. The National Restoration Party, NAREP, has proposed for a consultative meeting between all political parties and stakeholders in the country to iron out some of the contentious issues affecting the nation. NAREP President Elias Chipimo Jr. says the meeting should focus on consensus building on issues such as the constitution-making process, political violence, tribalism, and the enforcement of the Public Order Act. He said such issues can only be well handled if key stakeholders begin to work together in finding solutions. Mr. Chipimo said this during a press briefing in Osaka Wednesday morning.
President Lungu must rise to the challenge of leadership and deal with the most pressing issues that we face today as a nation. We urge him to call a meeting of all leaders of the opposition to talk about a way forward that will address concerns regarding the long-delayed constitution, tribalism, continuing voter registration, unemployment, economic development, rural poverty, political violence, and the freedom of association under the Public Order Act. Our primary concern as leaders should be Zambia and how we can help every citizen to rise to their full potential.
Meanwhile, Mr. Chipimo has announced that his party has pulled out of the Grand Coalition demanding for a people-driven constitution. He explains that the decision by the party to pull out of the coalition is because the team behind the demand for a constitution is championing their own political agendas. Mr. Chipimo has also condemned the manner in which Alliance for a Better Zambia President Father Frank Bwalya was ousted out of the coalition. He said despite him having divergent views from the rest, Father Bwalya did not deserve to be treated in the manner in which he was treated. Last week, the Grand Coalition demanding for a people-driven constitution ousted Father Bwalya from a consultative constitution-making process meeting which was called by the coalition.
The unceremonial departure of Father Frank Bwalya from the Grand Coalition raises serious concerns about the political agenda of those behind his removal. The development is both troubling and unacceptable. As of today, NAREP is no longer a member of the Grand Coalition. We are hereby officially pulling out of this grouping. We will not be party to the pursuit of personal political agendas over an issue as important as the Constitution.
Government says the revised school curriculum has helped students in the country to be familiarized with the information communication technologies, ICTs. Commerce Deputy Minister Mao Sampan says from 2011 to date, a minimum of about 80 schools in Matero constituency have been computerized. He adds that these changes have given an advantage to pupils in schools as this has made it easier for them to study and research for information on the internet. He was speaking during the launch of the partnership between Airtel Zambia and the British Council at Matero Girls Secondary School.
As you may be aware, last year on this similar program of computerizing in schools, I'm happy to report today that we have at minimum 80 computer schools here in Matero. I wish to challenge the pupils and the teachers to take care of these facilities, the computers that were given, and these facilities that have been given to us by Airtel in conjunction with the British Council.
And speaking at the same event, British Council, Zambia Country Director Wayne Harper says that the British Council is delighted to partner with Airtel Zambia and the education sector in the provision of ICTs. He says access to ICTs in schools enables international engagement and help teachers and students access a wide range of teaching and interaction. And Airtel Zambia says the high-speed broadband provided by Airtel guarantees teachers and students limitless new educational opportunities. Airtel Director Corporate Communications, Government Relations and CSR, Mr. Joseph Kafwa Riman, says Airtel will provide full internet accessibility to schools under the agreement.
Today we're able to meet to celebrate a new partnership with Airtel Zambia, who will be providing connectivity to the 14 digital hubs that we've so far established across Zambia. We can only succeed in our projects through good partnerships, and in Zambia we're very fortunate in having excellent support and collaboration from our key partners.
The development and expansion of ICTs will contribute to improved effectiveness and efficiency in not just service delivery, but the economy as a whole. Education is an area in critical need of development where ICTs have a potential to make a positive impact both on the teacher and the learner. It is a proven fact that ICTs greatly facilitate the acquisition and absorption of knowledge.
You're still watching the main news on Prime Television. We go for a second set of commercials. Join us shortly for foreign news.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Thank you so much for staying with us. And now, international news. Nigeria's presidential election on March 28th will not take place peacefully, Abubakar Shakur, leader of Boko Haram, has said in a new video purportedly released by the group. In the video released on social media on Tuesday and obtained by US-based site intelligence group, Shakur issued a warning to the Goodluck Jonathan's government that next month's election would be disrupted with violence. In the video message, titled A Message to the Leaders of the Disbelievers, Shakur also takes aim at the leadership of regional countries who are coordinating efforts against the group. Nigeria's presidential election was due to be originally held on February 14th, but was postponed due to security concerns. Speaking before Shakur's threats, Niger's President Mohamedou Issoufou vowed that his country would herald the end for the rebels, whose 6-year insurgency has cost more than 13,000 lives. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has called for a United Nations resolution allowing international forces to intervene in Libya. There was no other choice, he told French radio. We will not allow them to cut off the heads of our children. Egyptian jets bombed IS targets on Monday in response to a military video of the apparent beheadings of 21 Egyptian Christians. Rival militias have been battling for control in Libya since 2011. The country has two rival governments, one based in Tripoli, the other in Tobruk. Mr. Sisi called for weapons to be made available to Libya's internationally recognized government, which fled to Tobruk after rival militias seized power in the capital. For more international news, we now cross over to Al Jazeera for a roundup.
There are disputed claims that Ukrainian forces are pulling out of the eastern rail hub of Debaltseve. A Ukrainian commander says some pro-Russia separatists are trying to prevent government troops from leaving the town. Meanwhile, Russian news agencies are reporting that Ukrainian soldiers are surrendering there. Debaltseve has seen constant fighting despite the signing of a ceasefire deal last week. Paul Brennan has more from Debaltseve.
News coming out of Kiev, a member of the parliament in Kiev, Semen Semenchenko, who is the leader of the Donbass, a pro-Kiev militia, is saying that basically the Ukrainian forces who have been holding Debaltseve have given up the fight and are retreating from the town. The Donbass Battalion spokesperson, that's separate to Mr. Semenchenko, says the Donbass Battalion are holding the road and they're facilitating the evacuation of those Ukrainian troops.
The UN Security Council will meet later on Wednesday to discuss an Egyptian proposal for an international coalition to fight ISIL in Libya. Egypt says its airstrikes have been striking ISIL-affiliated camps inside Libya. Well, these pictures from a hospital in Derna show the aftermath of an attack. Eyewitnesses say 8 civilians were killed, including 3 children. The UN envoy to Syria says the Syrian government is willing to temporarily suspend all aerial bombardments over Aleppo. The city is divided between the rebel-controlled east and the government-held west. Myanmar's president has declared a state of emergency in the eastern Kokang region and is imposing a 3-month period of martial law. Thein Sein made the decision hours after a Red Cross convoy came under attack. 2 people were shot and injured in the attack. An armed group called the Myanmar National Democratic Alliance Army is suspected to be behind it. Fighting between the group and government troops has forced tens of thousands of residents of Kokang to flee into China. The violence has reportedly left 47 government troops and 26 rebel fighters dead.
And in sports news, under-17 captain Patson Daka is confident that the Zambia national soccer team will realign itself for honors at the ongoing Africa Youth Championships in Niamey, Niger. Daka says his lads will put up a spirited fight to maintain Zambia's march to Chile, the venue of the FIFA World Youth Championships later this year. The Airtel Rising Stars Discovery has added that pressure will be on the hosts, Niger, who have to impress the crowd that will come to the General Senei Coach Stadium. And Coach Chris Kaunda has called on his players to rise to the occasion and make Zambia proud again. Kaunda says tonight's game offers a chance to the players to showcase their skills and pave way for their entry into professional football. The players take on Niger in a few moments from now. And that sporting item brings us to the end of our main news. But before we go, a look at the headlines once more. Taxi drivers infiltrated after police removed them from Makeni Embassy. Economist predicts tougher times ahead following Kwacha's poor performance. Institute of Democracy speaks against the political violence in markets. In foreign news, Boko Haram threatens to disrupt Nigeria pause. That's the end of the news on Prime Television. Thank you so much for your company. On behalf of the entire studio and technical crew, my name is Kala Mchima. Thank you once again for your company. Keep on watching Prime Television. But for a full version of the recorded news, you can still download it on our website, www.ptvzambia.com. Bye-bye for now.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. ZESCO, powering the nation.